How y'all feeling about them Colorado boys though?
They still got stuff to work on.
A whole lot of stuff to work on. Shador is growing on me a whole lot. I still stand on what I said though about what the stuff he need to improve on, but he definitely is playing. He's playing more up to his. Oh, there we go. Shador is definitely playing. He's playing above his competition, so I gotta give him credit for that. What up, L?
Good, buddy.
My nigga been on vacation, sleeping and stuff.
Who?
You.
Well, got that vacation glow. They just
He was on vacation.
Oh,
But yeah, man. What's going on with you? You feeling good tonight, man?
I'm feeling all right.
We ain't officially started yet. I'm sending this link around. So y'all give me a second. I'll make sure we get our peoples in here. Hey, for anybody that's in here, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. You know, we on the road to it, man. We trying to get it popping.
Hold on, kids.
Yeah, you good. Oh, man. All right, let me send his last text out. Excuse me. All right, bet. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of The Lounge. I'm your host, the dual lounge heavyweight champion. You know, I was telling my boy Finesse a minute ago, you know, I had to fight Randy Orton for this one. So, you know, dual champ right now. You know, we repping Emmitt Smith. We don't like the Cowgirls, but we Emmitt Smith fans over here. And yeah, man, I'm your host, Jay. To my right, we got my man. He got the, you know what I'm saying? He got the Lamars going on. He told him ain't nothing funny. Falcon super fan. It's my boy, Mr. Rico, a.k.a. Lucius Left Foot. How you doing today?
AKA Bigfoot Frank. You know what it is. What's good, y'all?
What's going on? I'm going to have to hold the new one for a minute. And like always joining us, we got a legend in his own right. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sherman Jenkins. Is that a pumpkin spice latte enthusiast? Are you still a Teen Beach Movie enthusiast? That's what I need to know.
Hey, man, Teen Beach Movie is elite. Teen Beach Movie and High School Musical 2. Those are the best movies to ever come out of Disney Channel. Stamped.
Okay. But how you feeling tonight, Sharon? Talk to me, man.
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. Listen, the NBA champions, the Boston Celtics, had their media day today. You know what that means. Our back-to-back championship season officially began today. So I'm feeling amazing.
Right. Making his triumphant return. Hold on, as you gotta do it. You gotta put your head down now. Making his triumphant return from the IR. You know, he was on the injured reserve, couldn't compete. The pup list. We got my man, Sixers super fan, 4-time MVP, 8-time All-Star, Mr. 2K first take himself. We got Falcons fan, Mr. Bo Hagan, aka L's in the cut. Man, what's going on with you?
What's good, fellas?
Hey man, look, we back at it. We into it. I'm already ready. So hopping right into it, Mr. Sherm, what has been some of the most impressive wins from this week for you?
Hey, man, I think there's 2 wins that really stood out to me. Number one, obviously what we saw Monday night with the Buffalo Bills. I mean, we saw a murder on live television last night, man.
It was a dolphin killer.
Bills, they are on a mission this season. You can see in their eyes. You see the way they're playing. They're just going out there playing their brand of football, playing amazing defense, running the ball. And Josh Allen came on here. I said, Josh Allen having an MVP season. Y'all ha-ha'd at me. Then he goes out on Monday night television, drops 4 tuds. Then you know what I'm saying? Other than the Bills, man, I think a win that really stood out to me was the Lions. Because I really wasn't too sure about what the Lions were going to do. You know, they came out last week. They dropped a game there. So I thought, okay, maybe they're not going to be very serious. But once again proved that they're a contender in the NFC. So I think those two teams really stood out to me this week.
Okay, Mr. Bohagen, go ahead and hop in for us, man. What was the most impressive win for you this week?
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Sharon. I like the Bills on that Monday Night Football. You know, Josh Allen, he shredded their defense, 4 touchdowns in like the first half, and their defense showed up. You know, so I got to agree with him on that one.
Hey man, and Mr. Trevor Lawrence, man. I love Trevor Lawrence as a talent, but man, they that word generational. We threw it around a lot, man. We're gonna have to go back and look at that generational word because you know our other generational talent, he getting his teeth kicked in right now too. So we got to start looking at that generational word, man. My most impressive win is coming from the Washington Commanders, not because they beat the Bengals, just because of the Bengals. It was more impressive because one, this was the first game since 1940 where it was no punts on this and no turnovers. It was just good, pure football. The Jaden McDaniels coming out party may have been here. I'm not going to say he secured Offensive Rookie of the Year, but god dang it, he made Terry McLaurin look good this week. I like it. I really appreciate it. He went 21 for 23, 254 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Amazing. 1 rushing touchdown, 2 passing TDs. He was doing his thing.
Hey, remember last week we called out Terry McLaurin, man. I said Terry McLaurin show up, bro. And he did. Listening. He showed up. So shout out to him, man.
But on the other side, I can't even be mad because, you know, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they showed up. They just lost. Yeah, they just lost. I mean, that's how you feel about that game. Jamar Chase, $118, 2 touchdowns, might have just, you know, we was having them question marks of where we ranking him. He might have just slid himself back up in that top 5 conversation again with a performance like this. Joe Burrow, I was highly critical of him. Last week, I was willing to give him a pass because, you know, playing the Chiefs is always a little iffy playing the Chiefs. But this week, Joe Burrow is finally proving why that talent is there. But something is off for this team. I know we're going to talk about it a little later, but something just ain't clicking. But, man, shout out to my man Jaden Daniel and them boys. And I like what he did. I like the swag of this kid. They're going to suck this year for sure. They're going to be bad.
I don't know about that.
But I don't think they're going to win a division. I think the only way you make the playoffs is winning that division, and I don't think they're going to win a division.
Hey, they might sneak in as a wild card, though. I'm not going to lie.
I will see. I don't think they're going to be as bad as I thought they were going to be. I will say
But him having the balls to wave off and tell them fans to have a safe drive home, it's my type of quarterback. That's my type of quarterback. But, Mr. Rico, what's your most impressive win of the week?
Sure, low key, just to switch it up, I'd probably say the Vikings low key. They beat the doors off the Texans.
Oh.
I'm talking about had them boys in the cubicle one by one. They weren't going.
Yeah, CJ owe me some money.
I think he owe a lot of people some money right now.
Some money, real bad.
Hey man, the Vikings defense look very, very, very scary, and that defense is going to help them win games this year for sure. And I mean, last week they go against the Niners. They beat up on the Niners. And Brock Purdy said that defensive scheme confused the heck out of him. And then this week, same thing we saw with C.J. Stroud. The scheme that Brian Flores put together confused the heck out of him too. So obviously they've been at home. They've been putting together these wins. We'll see as the season progresses, but they've been playing very, very good football so far. So I was very impressed with the Vikings. That's another team in the NFC. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the playoff mix, you know, towards the year.
But, you know, Sherm, I feel like, you know, I can't even throw the asterisk of them being at home because, Sherm, we talk about teams all the time who can't win at home. You got to protect home field, especially when, you know, you only getting so many of them home games. You got to protect that turf. So they do what they need to do.
It does make a difference, though. Let's be honest. And when we talk about C.J. Stroud, too, y'all got to remember C.J. Stroud, he's a lot better at home than he is on the road. If you look at his splits, you look at his stats. And a lot of the stuff that he was doing last year, I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback, but a lot of the stuff that he was doing last year,
push people off guard.
He was stacking wins at home, and they're playing bad teams. But if you look at the stats, he's a lot worse when he's playing a good defense. So we're going to see, you know, as the season progresses, how Mr. Stroud performs, how he elevates. Like I said, I still think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he still has a lot of adjustment and a lot of learning that he's going to have to do when it comes to these defenses to prove that he really is elite.
And even jumping more towards that, man, Aaron Jones, I wish we had kept him, but we didn't end up keeping him. You see, he made a performance. I would have loved to have a two-headed monster, Josh Jacobs and Aaron Jones, but it is what it is. But sliding on, I'm glad we're talking about these teams now. Some concerning teams. The Bengals are one of the teams that are on this list. Kind of the start. I would have been a lot more concerned if this game wasn't such a close-knit, good game to where it just came down to the wire. I feel like they're not going to continue to lose because they do. Now, they should be winning more. I'm not going to sit here and say they shouldn't be winning more. The defense has got to play better. But even at the end of the day, I still feel like, they're not in as bad a shape as I wanted to put them in before watching this game.
I would agree, but for the Bengals, that's why you got to take care of business. You know what I'm saying? So you can afford to drop games like this. Like you said earlier, it's not necessarily that they went out and they lost to Washington, because Washington actually played well. But the point is, you got to take care of business. Week 1 against the Patriots at home, that's a win. But they let it slip out their fingers. Week 2 against the Chiefs, that's a win. They commit that penalty at the end, give the Chiefs a field goal to win the game. Let it slip out their fingers. See, if you take care of business in the games that matter, now, okay, you drop one game. Okay, we're 2-1. We can work with that. But 0-3 is just difficult. There's never been an 0-3 team to win the Super Bowl. I don't even think make the Super Bowl. And when we talk about making the playoffs, I don't think there's a 0-3 team. There's probably been 3 in NFL history or in the past couple years that have made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So now they're really in a bad spot, a bad position. The only thing I say the Bengals got going for them right now is they haven't played division games yet. And that division is still up for grabs because I don't believe in the Steelers. I don't believe in the Browns at all. And the Ravens have looked kind of shaky. So I think if the Bengals can get in some of these divisional games, take care of business against their opponents, they might find a path that way.
Yeah.
When you sit back and look at it, that'll probably end up having to be their only pair, really. Because with this slow start like this, it's not looking good. They're gonna have to hit all the emergency buttons y'all got and go and hit all of them.
But that's the problem too. They already lost to 2 AFC teams. So when we talk about end of the season with tiebreakers, conference record's gonna be a part of that. So that's gonna be a challenge. They have to win that division, do all they can. Now it's not the end of the world, especially because they played well. They got T. Higgins back in the fold. But I will say one of their O-linemen, Trent Brown, he went down he's out for the season. He tore his patellar tendon. So that's a big injury, a big loss for them.
And we were talking about the Bengals. Even looking back, that Chiefs game more specifically, Evan McPherson was a really reliable kicker, missed the extra point that game.
Yep.
So that would have took it to overtime at least.
Yeah.
So, it's like you're all right. It's the little things, but the little things are what matters at this point in football. So, moving on to another team that's in concerning waters, the Cowboys. They look good towards the end of that Ravens game, but you can't expect to be coming back like crazy against every team. I think Baltimore just got hit in the mouth at the end of that game, and it wasn't a pretty finish. Baltimore should definitely be concerned as well because it isn't a pretty finish. But, before we finish kind of wrapping up the Bengals, they still have one of the easier schedules in football. That's the only thing they got going for themselves. They should bounce back and win this week. Then they got the Ravens, but after the Ravens, they got a schedule of poo-poo caca Giants, poo-poo caca Browns, and an Eagles team that is on the back of Saquon Barkley right now. So they got a chance to turn this around quite quickly. Moving on to the Cowgirls. Man, the issue with the Dallas Cowgirls to me is they're being too inconsistent, man. I don't like that. It looks like y'all got all y'all energy at the end of that last game. Because what was it, 28 to what during that at one point in time during the fourth quarter?
Yeah, they was down like 3 scores.
Exactly. For y'all to send up scoring 19, it was 28 to 6.
Yeah.
And for y'all to score 19 in the fourth, what's up? We all couldn't do this the entire rest of the game. And I know everybody want to blame Dak Prescott, and yeah, it is what it is. But Dak played an amazing fourth quarter. But is it not too little, too late? Y'all don't want to try the whole game. You know what I'm saying?
But let's be real. They kind of known for that though. The Cowboys in general, but especially since Dak been there, they kind of been known for the garbage time era. That let's be real. Garbage time, they go crazy, and then they turned it into a game. But that game been over.
I will say too, they were helped out a lot by that onside kick that they recovered.
Zay freaking Flowers.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays it's like a 0.05 chance that you recover an onside kick. So that definitely helped them. You know, I think having the GOAT, Tom Brady, on the call, you know what I'm saying? I think that really inspired them to make, somewhat of a comeback. Shout out to Brady, TB12, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the Cowboys, man, their defense is horrible. They can't stop the run. And when they try to stop the run, they can't stop the pass. So everybody always wants to blame Dak. I think Dak is one of the better. I think he's a top 10, top 7 quarterback in the league. I think he's phenomenal. Sure. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. I think he plays the position very well. And I mean, even guys like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers respect him and how he plays the position. But I look at their defense. Micah Parsons, I ain't heard from him all year.
I was just going to say that he did. They did all.
I heard from him on his podcast. I heard from him on the field.
I watched him talk today on his podcast, actually.
Exactly. And what bothers me is we did all this yapping about who deserves to get paid, who deserves to get paid, who deserves to get paid. And, CD has showed up. Dak has showed up. But the one that they wanted to pay first, I think the one that they paid first is the one that ain't hardly showed up this season.
I'll tell you this, though. You could say, oh, he don't have help. But you look at what Max Crosby has done all these years in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. No help in the secondary, and he's still wrecking games. You still hear his name. Aaron Donald, they haven't always had a good roster up in LA, but he's still wrecking games. Micah Parsons, you got to wreck some games, bro. Like, you just got to take over and dominate. Now it's hard.
And he has help. That's the thing.
But I know that. It's hard when they can't stop the run because you're a pass rusher, but if they ain't passing, you ain't really do much.
But realistically, on the passing side of things, they were shutting stop. They couldn't stop the run this time. Derrick Henry looked phenomenal. They couldn't stop the run this time.
Oh no!
But on the other side, Lamar only passed for 182 yards. So
15 attempts.
Yeah, that's
he
what
was
I'm saying.
Too, though.
So they was running. They had to run the ball. So you telling me that and they have a pretty decent secondary over there in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? You got Trayvon Diggs out there. You also got Malik Hook. Is it Malik Hooker? Is that the right name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Malik Hooker out there. And even on his line, he's got help on the line. He's not the prime, but he still got DeMarcus Lawrence over there that's still on the other side, and maybe it'll make some kind of difference. Like, you're right though. He's got to be able to make a difference. He's got to, especially when he's lined up on the far edge. It's not often that when you're lined up on the far edge, you're gonna get double teamed all the time. It's just how it is.
He's gonna gain it, especially
he's got the advantage on that side because he's not like perfect example. Look at another game record. Look at Chris Jones. Chris Jones is double teamed just about every play because he lines up more on the inside. He's not a linebacker breed. Look at Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett lines up more towards the inside, double teamed every play. So you got the advantage because a lot of the times him and TJ Watt, they piss me off with it, but they're good at it. He gonna stand up. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna put that hand in the dirt. He's gonna stand up because he know he can get around whoever he wants to. So that's all it come down to, man.
I will say with the Cowboys too, man, it might not happen this season, but I think they made a mistake not trying to solve that running game in the offseason. Because you're looking at Dak Prescott, there's no way he should be attempting 50 passes a game. And that's what he's been doing, these first 3 weeks. I think they really should have – honestly, they should have brought in Derrick Henry. Now, Jerry Jones said they have the money for it. Now, look, y'all the Cowboys, right? Y'all got the money. Let's be honest. And I think that's part of why Derrick Henry went off a little bit because he lives in Dallas. He trains in Dallas. He really wanted to go to the Cowboys, and they didn't even give him an offer. They didn't even give him the man a phone call, bruh. That's embarrassing.
You sign Zeke.
That's embarrassing. So they got to figure out that run game, and they also got to figure out the defense. Listen, Their D coordinator last year, Dan Quinn, he leaves. He goes to Washington. They bring somebody new in. So I think it's going to be a little adjustment there for sure. But I'm very concerned if I'm a Cowboys fan right now because our only win is against the Browns, and the Browns suck. And even in that game, Dallas ain't look that good.
Oh, no, they didn't.
No.
But you can't be able to not stop the run and not run the ball. That's not a good combination at all.
Exactly.
And Michael Parsons, I did want to speak on that real quick. He definitely got to show up though. I noticed the MO on him last year. What they started doing was just leaving him in open space and let him make a decision. He make the wrong decision more times than not, and it's crazy.
That's a good point. I noticed that.
So I mean, either way, not just him, but it's gonna have to be some step up going on with this Dallas team all around.
Yeah. Also, we'll talk about this on later. But the 49ers, another team that's in salt water. I'm gonna just be frank. Deebo Samuel, you played horrible this year. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo's hurt right now, so I ain't gonna give you too much of this case. Brandon Ayuk, you wanted all that money.
Always hurt.
You want all that money not to show up. Kittle is hurt, but when Kittle did play, he played good the week that he did play. He played all right.
I give you that.
And it's crazy because Brock hadn't been playing horrible, but no Christian McCaffrey. I think, we always talk about how I don't think Brock is an elite quarterback. I think he's just a solid NFL starter. He's going to win you a few games, whatever. But this is where 49ers, you should have went out and got you an elite quarterback because now this is where the difference is going to be made. Brock's not doing bad at all, but can't everybody clown Cam Newton? He's a game manager. Without these dynamic weapons and with them playing bad.
Hey, whoa, don't do that. Don't do that.
He ain't losing them games, but brother, he ain't going out there and winning them either.
Hey, we ain't finna do that, man. Don't act like Brock.
Hey, I'm not disrespecting.
Brock Purdy had him 17 points in the third quarter, and their defense is what choked the game away. Now listen, they lost their D tackle, Javon Hargrave. He's out for the season now. Torn triceps. Well, that's a big loss. That's really why I'm very concerned if I'm a Niners fan because the injury bug is just killing them right now.
He's running through the locker room like a right now.
He's running through like prime COVID-19.
Shoot me, man. But we ain't finna disrespect Brock right now.
I'm not disrespecting Brock. I'm just telling y'all.
I don't think they'll disrespect.
It wasn't disrespect. It's just the truth. If you put a perfect example, somebody who they probably should have went and looked at getting. If you put Dak with this team, you probably getting a different result because they're not
finna replace Brock after he took him to a Super Bowl though.
I understand, but I don't even think we should have gotten that situation to begin with. You gotta and it's the thing. To me, with what coaches fail at, you're evaluating us on a high. You're not evaluating us with what if the situation where McCaffrey knees turned into gravy? Greg Kittle be hurt or George Kittle be hurt. Deebo is always hurt. We got to evaluate where we're at.
Hey, you're right. But let me tell you something else that you're missing. Brock Purdy is on a rookie contract right now. He's making $1 million.
To win the Super Bowl.
He's making $1 million. So that's the part that you're missing. Because we can say, we get this, we get this. Oh, you got to pay him $40
You would have had to let somebody go.
So why would I do that when I could pay Brock $1 million and he's proven that he can take us to the Super Bowl? He can take us to the NFC Championship game. That's the first part. The second part is name me a quarterback who's going to play well if you take their weapons away. You know what I'm saying? If you take Kelsey off the Chiefs, now this is probably bad because Kelsey not playing well right now. But if you take Kelsey off the Chiefs, Mahomes not doing what Mahomes does.
Come on, bro. Watch out. He's still doing his thing, even with.
I think Mahomes might be the one exception.
Mahomes is more than the one.
He's not going to be as good.
Yeah, he's going to take a hit for sure.
It's a few
especially in the postseason.
Because Lamar Jackson, weaponless, weapon defeated. Lamar.
Has Lamar won games a lot of games without weapons? Mind you, have Mark Andrews and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's had
Mark
games
Andrews is a left tackle now.
Now
that's
Mark Andrews.
But that's what I'm saying. If we
what's their record right now?
They're winning. They were 1-2. Well, not winning, but they're 1-2.
What's the Niners record right now?
Same record.
All right.
But this one on Lamar. Lamar's been playing phenomenal every week.
Brock Purdy's been playing phenomenal too.
I'm just saying, man, it's better. It was better options out there. I'm not trying to be that guy to diss Brock Purdy or none of that. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just clearly setting something out there that we all know.
I see what you mean. I see what you
Yeah,
mean. But it's like
I'm just
everybody's
saying.
talking about Brock Purdy's a McCaffrey. He's this, he's that. They need McCaffrey. They need Debo.
They do
So now
need, in my opinion, they do need them though.
You take all those pieces away, and Brock Purdy still went out there and balled out. So what y'all gonna say now?
He did.
I mean, the
but
thing about me,
I
I'll
still
call a
believe,
spade a
I
spade,
still believe in the fact that he needs Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey here, this team is just so much more dynamic. Even
Shoot,
Debo,
man, but you can say that about any team.
But I'm saying I can go Debo aside because their whole offense is built around Christian McCaffrey. We know this. This team is built around Christian McCaffrey, hands down, all the way 1,000%.
Yeah, he took a lot of Debo load when he got that though.
He did. Yeah. That's why Debo was able to get off last season. Yeah. Oh my God.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that was rough. And that was
come on, man. Come on.
But I understand what he means, though. I understand exactly what you mean. But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving because we got to get into some more talk. Jaguars, poo-poo caca. I don't know what it is. We got to stop throwing around this generational talent where I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's a solid quarterback. But this generational talent word got to go somewhere. Jacksonville is still suffering from the fact that defense ain't been good since Jalen Ramsey tipped up out of there. Let's just be real.
They've had okay years, but no great years.
They ain't had nothing crazy. You know, Buffalo.
Their defense got them to AFC Championship.
Hey,
yeah, with Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I got two things on the Jaguars, man. Number one, Doug Peterson. I heard ESPN is hiring for their pregame show. You might want to put that application in, bud. Number two, a couple of years ago, they had the number one pick in the draft. They took what's his name, Trayvon Walker over Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, and Trayvon Walker's been a decent player, but I think that right there was a mistake for their franchise. That's going to set them back. We talk about it all the time. You remember in the in this draft with Luka.
Trae Young and what's it called? We talk about the Trae Young and Luka.
The Suns had the number one pick. They took DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's a good NBA player, but you had Luka right there.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, all right.
Aiden Hutchinson not as good as Luka, but my point is,
I got you.
We have a generational talent like that. You can't pass him up just because of some.
Aiden good. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson is really good though. What year was that draft?
2021, I believe.
Shit, Aiden Hutchinson single-handedly changed the fortunes in Detroit for a little minute. Especially
he's not as good as Luka though. Let's be honest.
I'm not saying he good as Luka. I'm just saying,
right.
Bro, Detroit was hitting on their peaks for like they had a streak. They was hitting on their peaks.
But I look at Jacksonville, man. Their offensive line is horrible, playing terribly. They can't run the ball. Trevor Lawrence just looks like a mess right now. He's making. I mean, just high school throws. He's making bad decisions, bad reads.
Looking real brush on.
There was a DeMar Hamlin legacy game.
Well, my question is, you take a guy like Bryce Young, and they bench him right away. But you take a guy like Trevor Lawrence, who has never proven anything in his career, you give him a contract extension, y'all still playing him. That just don't sit well with me. You know what I'm saying?
White.
Yeah, my point.
Then I mean, now that they didn't pay them too, now like it turned into a pissing contest now. So now that they pride in that now, so they gotta play it.
You're right. You gotta stick it out now. DeMar Hamlin legacy game.
But I feel like they gotta give him some more weapons though. I'm just be honest. He gotta get some.
And for the fact of how bad that the Bills defense has been playing, for them to come in and shut y'all down like that, Jesus.
I will say though, they've been missing Evan Ingram these past two games. They're tight end, and he's been a major, receiving option for Trevor Lawrence, kind of his safety valve, something that keeps him comfortable. So not having him be a part of the offense, I know that's probably hurt them, but that's still not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the fact that you're losing. We said the same thing with the Bengals. It's not the fact that you're losing. It's how do you look when you're losing. See, the Bengals, they 0-3, but they looking good. The Jaguars, they 0-3, they ain't looking good. They don't have the right processes. Their offense isn't functioning at all. their defense. I mean, you give up, dang near 50 points. Like that's unacceptable.
Poo caca. And for your defense to give up 5 different sacks from 5 different people is crazy. Usually one person wrecking habit. This whole defense was on y'all like stank on boo boo, man. Von Miller trying to beat the washed allegation. That's what he doing. Von beating his washed allegations on y'all.
Shout out.
He ain't doing it like TK though. He doing the race though. So.
Man, let's move on. Rookie watch. Caleb Williams to the stand. Yes, I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Their line has been playing bad, but this is still not what I'm expecting from my number 1 overall draft pick.
That ain't why. That's why Jado ain't here, huh?
I know he has something going on. No. It should, but in my opinion, though, it shouldn't take you 3 weeks to get your first passing touchdown. I don't care who you're playing against, especially when we put so much around you. And passing numbers aside, we talk so bad on Justin Fields, and Justin Fields ain't had a team that was half as well put together as this.
And they did it in one off season. Crazy.
One. So Caleb, you just got to get together. I don't know what else to tell you. 363 yards is good and dandy and all, but you ain't win nothing. You putting up empty stats.
I think their O-line has been a lot worse than what we thought. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's been a lot worse than what I thought, because I thought their offensive line was going to be good. Caleb not playing horrible, but he's not playing good either. But he's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put too much on him. He's a rookie. It's week 3. It is what it is. But I'm very concerned right now from the Bears' perspective, because we really put a lot of expectations on y'all, whether it's fair or not. We expect them to look a little bit better than what they showed, especially going against Indianapolis, man. What's the phrase that you use? Boo boo caca.
Boo boo caca.
Yeah.
I think he would have benefited good from like a Patrick Mahomes situation. Come in and sit
behind somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah,
who's he gonna sit behind them? And for all intents and purposes, wow, their defense has been playing really good.
Oh, for sure. I want to talk about it.
They have one of the best defenses in the league.
Their defense was keeping them in the game.
Has been playing lights out this season already, and I'm a big Tremaine Edmonds guy. He's been doing this thing this season. He got 2 brothers. They all 3 were in the league at one point in time.
No one true. I remember seeing the commercial.
And for the Bears, with how bad their offensive line is, it's been really hard for them to run the ball. And I think when you have a rookie quarterback, that really hurts. If he can't run the ball at all, that really hurts, because you're putting a lot more pressure on that quarterback to kind of make things happen. On 3rd down, you're behind. It's 3rd and 9. You're not getting 6 yards of a carry. Now it's 3rd and 9. You know what I mean? So I think, Swift, he's always been an average back. But now you put him behind that line. Y'all saw that picture, by the way, when they was in the red zone. I think it was on the 3-yard line, and all 5 offensive linemen were just laying on the. Like, come on, bro. That's embarrassing, man.
I think that
I just send it to Jada.
I think that Caleb will be all right. Overall, I think he young and he's still coming. He still got in. He just got in. So,
still trying to get legs on him.
Yeah.
Heard
I definitely think that Keenan Allen's gonna help them a whole lot too, because he's an experienced wide receiver. He's played with good quarterbacks. He knows what to do, and I think that's just gonna have to be his biggest mentor right now, because he doesn't have a quarterback. Anywho,
they need him bad.
I'm telling you,
he just all around good.
And not even from a statistical standpoint, they just need him because he's gonna make stuff a lot easier. You still got to guard Keenan Allen. He ain't fast. He ain't none of that. But you still got to guard him, because I don't know what it is about Keenan Allen. He ain't the fastest. He ain't the strongest. He pretty well sized. He gonna get open.
Kind of like DeAndre Hopkins in the last couple years.
Exactly.
So let me ask y'all this. I'm not saying Justin Fields is the answer, because I don't think Justin Fields, is a long-term quarterback. But y'all think it would have been better to keep Fields and trade that number 1 pick and build that roster and then get a quarterback, coming up? When we look at the class with Shador, all them QBs.
To be fair,
the reason I'm gonna say yes,
I ain't gonna lie. That's all I really want to say. That's what I advocated for because they could have got a lot for that pick. And
I would say
then
because then
turned
they
around
had
and
two
could have got another
picks.
QB. Yeah, they
I'm
would have
gonna
been
be
straight.
honest. You could have traded down because I saw somebody say earlier if the Bears hadn't been so greedy to get Caleb Williams, they could have traded down to like what 2 or 3, got something back in return, drafted Joe Alt and Malik Neighbors, had a decent offensive lineman to come help build on because Joe still ain't. I don't think Joe is allowed to sack yet in 3 weeks.
He hurt.
Had one.
Get healthy, big fella.
Yeah. So you could have had Joe Alt and you could have had Malik Neighbors or whoever else you wanted to have. Or even if they wanted Marv or whoever they wanted, you still could have had a dynamic weapon.
Well, I think they really like Rome, so I think they was going to take Rome regardless. You know, I mean, unless Neighbors was there, I think they was going to take Rome regardless. But you look at a team like the Raiders were trying to trade up for a quarterback. Even the Giants, they were trying to get a quarterback too.
The Giants were trying to.
I would have showed swap picks with the Giants and told them how bad y'all want this quarterback? Give me Sexy Dexy and we swap picks and we gone about our business.
They would have gave you whatever you wanted. I promise you.
Dexter Lawrence.
They wanted anybody.
Dexter Lawrence is literally the.
They wasn't finna trade no Dexter Lawrence for Caleb.
I'm just saying.
I think they would have thought about it.
Sexy Dexy out there putting up numbers with nobody around. He putting up numbers with playing next to me and Sherm.
You glazed, bro. You glazing.
I'm just being real, man.
But
I mean, their defense kind of been disappointing though. Besides him,
but recency bias is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to say this now, but in a couple of years, if Caleb Williams is a top 2 quarterback, we gonna sound ridiculous saying this. You know
yeah. But me and you talked about this before. How some of these guys, like you were high on Malik Neighbors, I was high on Joe Alt. We looking at some of these guys we've been high on, so it's not like
Brock
we just getting. Yeah, exactly. Brock Bowers, another guy that we were all high on. So it's not like we looking at this through a set of eyes that we didn't care for these guys then. Because at the whole time it was either Fashanu or Joe Alt for the first lineman off the board. So it ain't like these guys that we ain't been knew how much of a dog they were gonna be.
Hey, tell me again what you said when you knew how raw he was gonna be.
Man, I saw him, man. He showed up in them boot cut Levi's,
boot cut jeans,
that button down polo, the fleece on top.
Yeah, the quarter zip.
And the pop Nikes. Right? He showed up in the pop Nikes, boy. I knew he was finna go put work in.
Yeah.
They will probably need to tell him, I don't need my lineman showing up with gold chains on. I need my lineman looking fresh out the farm.
Right. He fresh out the farm,
Joe looked like a finance major. That's what I need my lineman to look like.
The ones that listen to Luke Bryan and them, man. That's the ones
I even need my lineman to look like a Viking. I need a Viking, a Samoan, or or an accountant. That's all I need. And Trent Williams is the one exception for my rapper.
I want me a bit Republican from Idaho.
Yeah, boy.
That be country style.
I need one of them boys that ain't lift weights growing up. He was lifting hay bales. That's what I need. But man, Jaden Daniels, offensive rookie of the year. How we looking, man? I wanted to be Joe Alt, but I know it's not a lineman award, so I got to put my fandom to bed. Jay, if he can keep playing like this, I don't see why he's not gonna be offensive rookie of the year.
Hey, it's between them LSU boys now, him or Neighbors.
But remember what I said at the beginning of the season. Now the media gonna be on Caleb's side from the beginning. I feel it.
Okay.
But I do think them LSU boy, them boy hooping.
Hey man, let's be on the lookout for Maserati Marv, baby.
He improving.
I don't think he's the problem. I think Kyler is more of a problem than him, but that's a story for another day.
They still trying to get on the same page, but they getting there.
It's not that. It's just they should have. No offense, they should have drafted Malik Neighbors because his play style fits Kyler Murray more than Marv.
He played more like a DeAndre Hopkins more than what's the name?
Marv played like his dad, and that's not what Kyler Murray needs. He plays like his dad. Marvin Harrison Sr., he gonna chop them feet, get up the field. And I'm gonna be quick when I get the ball. I ain't finna do all this little quick short routes. I need that thing thrown. He played with the sheriff, one of the biggest gunslingers.
Mhm.
We see what they did. They made magic together, and that's the same thing. If Marv don't end up staying with the Cardinals, I feel like they'll get rid of Kyler before they do Marv, just because of how it's gonna be. If Kyler is gone and they get a big, I'm gonna be honest. Marvin Harrison will probably break rookie receiving yard numbers if he had a Justin Herbert. Just because you need somebody who's gonna get the ball down the field and get it to you. Kyler's got an extremely strong arm, but Kyler don't want to throw that thing deep. He just don't. Go back and look at Kyler Murray deep ball numbers. Yeah, go look at Kyler Murray deep ball numbers. He don't want to throw it deep. He's a medium to short thrower.
Now, I will say in college, though, he did throw it deep a lot more, but that's college, though.
The gunslinger is dying, man. We ain't got but a handful of gunslingers left in the NFL. We got even less young gunslingers because Josh Allen ain't even considered a young quarterback no more. He grizzled vet. Like what guns? I mean, I consider Jordan Love a bit of a gunslinger, but that's just all Green Bay quarterbacks. Brock put a little zip on that thing. I give it to him.
Like Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield.
Baker ain't considered young no more to me though.
No, Baker.
You talking about young?
Yeah, young. That's why I said Jordan Love. Then you got Anthony Richardson, real gunslinger there.
Yeah, he is gunslinger.
That's the only move.
Real bad man. Because somebody told me you can watch Anthony Richardson play, and in 2 plays you can see the most beautifully athletically gifted pure arm strength play one, and then see the most boneheaded decision ever made the second play. If he could ever get his decision making together, it's gonna be a wrap. He don't have his issues are the same issues he had in college. He don't got no touch. I don't know what it is. He is lacking touch. He is all arm strength.
But you know, in college they ran if I'm not mistaken, in Florida they ran a 2 QB system. They kept swapping it out.
They did. They swapped them out. Mm-hmm. And I hate that. I'm like, man, put these Cam Newton debates to rest. That's not Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
I think Josh Allen played more like him than anything.
I don't think Josh Allen played like him as much as we think he do. I still feel like Cam is a lot better of a decision maker than Josh Allen is.
I'm talking about like just more simply on the play side, like just that alone. Now we want to break down to the details of how they operate and decision making, how they think. That's a different story.
But Malik Neighbors, man, he's showing up too. We talked about it. Them LSU boys, they finna be dancing and everything at the little thing.
He's saving Daniel Jones right now, boy.
He is. He is gonna keep.
He might get him next year.
But man, before we go to the college football corner, wait. No, go ahead. You go ahead. I got something I want to bring up. I gotta find it. Go ahead.
Before we slide past New York, I just wanted to, you feel me? How much longer y'all think Daniel Jones got?
Should have been this year.
Hey, when the season end?
February.
They ain't lasting to February. I'll tell you that. Hey, regular season, end of the regular season. There you go.
Yeah, I saw a 3-team trade that interested me with Bryce Young. Y'all let me know what y'all think. The trade was the Panthers get like a 2nd round and 3rd round pick. The Dolphins get Matthew Stafford, and the Rams get Bryce Young.
They ain't gonna do that. I'll tell you why. Matt Stafford ain't leaving LA. I'll tell you that much.
Would you leave LA for Miami?
The relationships he's built there with McVay and with Cooper Kupp and all them, I think he's retiring as a Ram. So I don't see that happening. Mind you, the Rams not even horrible, bro.
They're not, but you already know that. I'm gonna be honest.
They're gonna be decent. I feel like.
I'm gonna be honest though, bro. You put Matthew Stafford in the Dolphins offense right now.
I don't think Bryce Young's trade value high enough to do that though.
It's a good trade, but it's a good trade because realistic. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it might happen, but I love it because you put Sean McVay, a quarterback genius, with somebody like Bryce Young who can scheme around. Very young team still. You know, you got Cooper Kupp still there to help you work out a few of the growing pains. And really, he just needs a change. To me, he needs to change the scenery because
for sure,
Andy Dalton is a 14-year NFL vet, and he's supposed to perform on that level. But you just killed your young boy confidence.
Remember, Andy Dalton was that guy at one point in Cincinnati.
His confidence is gone.
You know what's funny too? Last year with the Panthers, Bryce Young missed one game, and Andy Dalton went off and beat the Seahawks. And then this year, it's kind of funny how the same thing happened.
Hey, it's crazy you say
Andy
that.
Dalton gets put in, and they dominate the Raiders. That's another win that really impressed me, the Panthers, because you kind of see some of the structure. But I also feel like it's week 3. We saw a lot of desperation teams winning. Like, we saw the Broncos winning. I feel like a lot of that stuff just comes out of desperation. Like, we 0-2. We need a win. We're desperate. We're hungry. So I think we saw a lot of upsets than we might have usually seen. But
Certified Bo Nix hater here.
I do feel like it's going.
I'm right there with you on that. So
I can tell you who'd be desperate.
Who?
The Chiefs.
Oh, brother. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you like I told everybody else. I feel like that with that Chiefs thing at the end of the game, it might have been a PI, yes. No, the game with y'all.
Oh,
but
okay,
Kurt underthrew the piss out of that ball. There's no reason that ball shouldn't have been a little bit higher because you got 6 foot, 6'5", 6'6" Kyle Pitts. There's no reason that ball should have been that low in the first place.
It's a PI, man. Come on now, refs missed it.
I'm saying he didn't look back, but I still feel like Kurt, you a vet. You gotta throw a better ball than that, Kurt.
I think realistically both can be true.
Because even you can't just depend on the refs for in any situation. But you didn't even give your guy a chance to go get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trusting giving Kyle Pitts a chance to go get any jump ball. And that's just me.
He is almost a power forward.
I see what you mean because even if the dude ain't tackle him, he could have easily undercut that ball and intercepted or swatted it down. Which I think it did almost get picked off, if I remember correctly. And I think the safety came over the top, and he could have picked it off too.
But if the DB had even just glanced back like this, instead of being like all of us with good sense, so worried about 6'6" Kyle Pitts in the red zone, which you should be worried about, it would have been a pick. If he turns around, it's a swallow a pick.
I think more so the Falcons, they're still finding their groove as a team. Kirk is still trying to get his sense in the offense and his connection with the receivers. I think it's been hard for him because coming off the offseason, he's been injured. So he hasn't really been able to have the reps and the practice that he's had with these receivers. The thing about Minnesota, him and Jefferson, they on the same page like that. You know what I'm saying? But we still saw some miscues, on Sunday night with him and Drake London. He's throwing the ball a little bit more inside than Drake London would like, all that stuff. So I think Kirk's still working from injury, but he's still trying to get back from, get that connection back. But the Falcons, they had their chance multiple times. Yes, the refs kind of blew it there at the end with that missed call, but the Falcons also had multiple opportunities to close the game, and they couldn't. And when you talk about winning and being a good playoff team and being a champion, you got to learn how to close games like that. 4th and 1, 4th and inches, and you are in a stretch play. That don't work. Especially the way the Chiefs were playing. They were stacking the box. They knew they was going to run the ball. Everybody covered up. So that's the last thing you want to do is run, especially a stretch play. So
I mean, realistically, you go look at all the Falcons games this year. Like, you can make a case they could be undefeated this year. Easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
With just a couple plays. And
absolutely.
To me, it like I'm in between of like being like, man, what the versus feeling optimistic. I'm like right in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but also they could easily just as easily be 0-3. If Saquon Barkley catches that ball, they 0-3.
Bro, I said it when Saquon dropped it. I'm like, yeah, Saquon, you just left the door open, big dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Sherman, I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy that you said that thing about Andy Dalton, about him getting that game in. Because I remember when Cooper Rush got them games in for Dak Prescott, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, bro, he finna take his spot, bro. He finna be starring, bro." I'm like, man, shit.
But I always say the same thing, bro. In the NFL, and we see this with Green Bay. Hey, shout out to Green Bay.
I was just gonna bring us up, but I won't.
Y'all didn't bring it up. I was bringing it up.
In the NFL, it takes teams and defenses 3 games to figure you out. So you play good for 1 game, you play good for 2 games. After that third game, they gonna figure you out because they got plenty of tape on you. They gonna attack your weaknesses. So I said that about last year with Josh Dobbs. What happened with Josh Dobbs? The Pastronaut. He came out, he was killing.
I won't worry about that.
All of a sudden, same thing with Cooper Rush. He comes out, he's killing. He's killing. They should replace Dak.
You got to adjust.
He is an astronaut though.
Oh, he's definitely an astronaut. For
sure.
Well, when I look at guys like Andy Dalton, all this stuff, Andy Dalton a good quarterback, but he putting up video game stats week 1. But a couple weeks from now, a couple games from now, they're gonna start figuring them out. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see, bro.
And before we move on to the college corner, shout out to them boys, Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander.
Who?
It's all right. Number 1 and number 2 in the league. And
man, y'all playing against Will Levis, bro.
It doesn't matter because all we got to do is hold it together. If we can hold it together till Jordan Love get back, I'm confident in anything. This Viking game gonna tell us a lot because the last few times we done played the Vikings, Jair has had your boy number.
Hey, where's the game at? It's in Mini?
Nope.
Hey, it's in Green Bay? Your boy Malik catching some steam, boy.
All I need him to do is not lose me the game.
Love might be back though.
I ain't gonna lie, I love it. But if he can hold out to at least week 4 and we start hitting this road, bro, that's all I need. Because our October schedule, it's either gonna be or really bad.
I'll say with the Vikings defense, man, with the Vikings defense, if y'all got Malik Willis, y'all got no shot. But if it's Jordan Love back there, I think the Packers gonna win.
We gonna see.
Now this if Minnesota come on the A game. Yeah, they've been on the A game every game. So.
But their confidence be getting shot sometimes. If Jay Jettis play good, they play good.
I don't like Jair, bro, because you talk all that mess, you do all this showboating, but in the playoffs, you getting burnt, bro. Nah, man.
That ain't why we lost in the playoffs, though. Jair is far from the reason why we lost in the playoffs. My boy Jordan Love tapped into the wrong Packers great. He tapped into Brett Favre. He tapped in the air and the Bart Starr. So he tapped into the wrong. But, man, to the college corner, man. Els, your boys, the Rado boys, man. Shador, I will say this. Shador got some stuff he has to work on, yes. But at least he's prepared because whatever team he goes to ain't going to have a lick of an offensive line.
You get some good practice in, my boy.
And I don't feel like, and I will say this, Sherm, you shaking your head. I feel like, at least I don't feel like they're playing down to their competition. They pedal to the metal with it. They teams, that front seven is still an issue.
They just, bro, it'd be a complete different team if they had a line, bro. And I know it's like I don't like doing the what if, but like, bro, if they just had a little bit of time, bro, Shador can just get some time, bro. I'm talking about they can really be like a great team. And same thing on the defensive side, as far as like getting pressure on the QB. It's just since Dion didn't been there, it's just been the line. Like the skill positions is there.
Hey, I'm not trying to hate on Shador at all. I think he's a good player. I just don't I don't see him being, one of the elite NFL quarterbacks when it comes to that. I don't think he'll be a top 10 quarterback in the league from what I've seen. But I will say this, we talk about the line a lot, but I also feel like the offensive system that they play does not fit his strengths at all as a quarterback. I will say that. I will give him credit for that. Because every time I'm watching their games, I'm like, that's not a strength of his. So why are we playing up to that? You know what I'm saying?
They need to get him in a.
What would you say there? What would you think? What type of formation should they be running?
Can I do it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
You shouldn't be running a traditional spread type of offense. You don't have a line. You need to be getting to the outside and getting your receivers in space because you have dynamic playmakers. And you have a quarterback that's going to put at least he might not throw in anticipation to throw deep, but he's going to put the ball on you. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be running the option. You need to be running reverses. You need to be running a new school offense. You don't need to just run a traditional spread. You need to space these guys out and dissect these defenses. You see like they do at the end of the game when Shador get to the outside, because you know the one thing, he's not going to scramble. He's going to keep his head down the field, so he's going to find somebody. That's what you need to do. You need to run these play actions. Even if you ain't going to hand the ball off, get him to the outside. Get him throwing on the run. Get him moving this way and that way, because then you're not setting yourself up for failure, because they want him to be Tom Brady, and he's not Tom Brady.
You know what's funny? As much as we talked about him earlier, I see a lot of comparisons between him and Brock Purdy. Am I bugged? I think he plays very similar, or his strengths are very similar to what Brock Purdy
That's
does.
not a bad comparison.
You're not bugged, because when we were talking about this before, I always said Brock Purdy's mechanics were extremely gross. And when he started fixing his mechanics and got with an actual quarterback coach, he would be a lot better. I don't think you're bugged at all.
But my point is, like,
Shador may be a better athlete though, but you're not.
He is. You know, he got that black, you know, prime time. So of course his athletics are better. You know what I'm saying? But I think what the 49ers do with Brock Purdy, like you said, a lot of motion, you know, a lot of play action, a lot of stuff like that. They're playing to his strengths. And I look at Shador with Colorado. Now it's hard to do play action when your line is that bad. You know what I'm saying? I will say,
Sure.
But with Shador, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of let's feed Travis Hunter, let's get our drop, you know, let's scan the field, all this stuff, let's process. Nah, we need quick decisions, quick hitters, boom, 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 4 yards of play. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just I want them to process things a lot quicker, especially with how bad their line is. Just get some quick passes there. You have Travis Hunter, you have Jimmy Horn. Those are elite receivers at the college level. I just want to see a bit more quick decision, quick passes. I feel like they don't play. But listen, they had a phenomenal game on Saturday. You know, it went into overtime, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a great game. Who are they playing again? Remind me. Baylor. I was very disappointed with how Baylor closed the game. I thought they made a lot of poor decisions. They
back-to-back plays allowing Hail Marys is insane. You allow back-to-back Hail Marys.
Yeah, they really did.
Even Baylor, I mean, they were running the ball down Colorado's throat, man. I mean, gee whiz. And at the end, that fumble, you got to protect the ball in that scenario. You know what I'm saying? I don't fault him because he was trying to make a play, but you got
to give a credit to Trav too for that one.
Hey, that was a phenomenal
he hit the ball. He knew what he was doing.
No, he was at the other spot.
He put his helmet on the ball.
He hit in the spot. He probably don't fumble that ball.
That was phenomenal.
His helmet on the ball.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal play. Don't get me wrong, but in that situation in the back, you got to protect the ball. You know what I'm saying? You got to have. I think he was carrying it with one hand.
You can't chew it up in the film room.
Because I ain't gonna lie, that was a touchdown.
Oh yeah,
it was 6.
He can chew it out in the film room. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, he crossed the plane. The problem is he fumbled the ball.
He forgot something.
He forgot something. You didn't bring your luggage with you.
Now you can't be dropping mama's milk like that, man.
Hey, but I mean, other than Colorado,
bro,
did y'all watch the USC Michigan game? Because that game raised my blood pressure, man.
What was going on? Because I did not watch it.
So, mind you, Florida State sucks this year. So I've adopted USC as my bandwagon team.
Adopted.
So I'm going into the game, bro. USC's offensive line just played horribly, and that lost them the game, bro. Like, their line was horrible against Michigan. Now, Michigan played extremely well. Their defense, too. We always talk about Lincoln Riley with his defense, man. Their defense was just horrible. You know, Michigan, they changed their quarterback. They put in Orgy. You know, Orgy can only do one thing, is run the ball. You know he can't pass. You know he can't pass. So why are you allowing them at a critical point in the game? You need to stop, and you allow them to march. I think it was 82 yards down the field and score a game-winning touchdown. It was just embarrassing effort on defense. I really feel like USC let that game slip away. You know, they're new to the Big Ten. I think they really need to learn how to adjust to that physicality, because you look at it on offense, their line got banged up by Michigan, and on defense, they got banged up by Michigan. So I think USC, it's not the Pac-12 no more. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got finesse. We ain't got air raid over here.
Mm-hmm. You're going to hit you in the mouth.
But that's some USC always kind of struggle with though. Like
Always.
at least in the recent, like let's say like last 15 years, struggling finishing games. Like they've been struggling with that.
Always.
But some I also do want to ask you all while we're still here talking about college football. Who is you guys' biggest sleeper team going forward for college football?
That's a
I
good
got
question.
one I'm keeping my eye on.
Y'all go ahead, because y'all go ahead. I got
So
one.
so what we saying about sleeper? Like how would you
Like,
classify sleeper?
have a legitimate playoff case.
Yeah, but are we talking about like they're in the top 10 right now? They're in the top
They can
25
be ranked
right now?
wherever because we already know all ranked teams aren't equal. So they can be
Okay.
ranked wherever.
So for me, I would say Miami. Miami looked really good.
Mm.
Especially this game was kind of a trap game for them. They was playing South Florida on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trap game for them. You know what I'm saying? But they went in, they took care of business. They dominated. I like the way they're playing on both sides of the ball. Cam Ward, he's putting together a good, case for the Heisman right now. So I think Miami right now they're ranked 8th, I believe. So I think they look pretty good.
Something like that.
Okay. Mine's is, I'm gonna be honest, mine's is gonna be Tennessee. And I say that
I just took
because
two of mine back to back.
a lot of teams don't have a lot of guys don't have Tennessee up there as far as to win the SEC or do whatever. But I think it might not be this year, but I definitely think within there before Nico leaves from Tennessee, I definitely think they make a solid playoff appearance and a playoff case. That's my sleeper team because by the time we get to the end of the season, they've just been quietly beating the brakes off of everybody. If we're looking at it, like Oklahoma punched in the mouth. Kent State beat up on. NC State, another ranked team, beat the brakes off of. So man, this is just what we get into. And then they got Arkansas, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee's at home. So that's not insane to say that Alabama could potentially lose their game.
Georgia.
They play Georgia, but
On the
hey,
road.
we gotta see. That's why I said I think this is gonna be the year that we get a 1 or 2 loss SEC team in there, bro. It's gonna be more than one SEC team.
Well, we have to. It's 12 teams, so we're gonna have.
It's gonna be at least 3 to 4, and I think Tennessee is gonna be one of those 3 to 4.
My sleeper is definitely I can't go JMU, can I? Or is that too low?
You can because I think a group of five team is gonna get in. It has to. It's too many spots available. It's too many spots available.
Bro, they beat.
They get that win though.
The game was like 70-50, bro.
They did get
You
that
know
win.
what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at it because JMU, they still, of course, they're not in the most impressive conference, yes, but they still gonna play against some of the powerhouses in their own realm, like Coastal Carolina. They still got to play them. Georgia Southern is pretty decent. Georgia State. So, and they got this, and I think this win against UNC is gonna do some numbers because I'm telling you, I think this is the year a group of 5 team gonna get in.
But they've been good. Like they've been good for the last 2 years. I think because I think their football team. I think they since they moved to their conference. I think they only lost 2 games. I think those bowl games.
So Sherm, let's be real. Could you? I mean, I don't know for the memes. Let's say it's and giggles. Could an undefeated group of 5 team get in?
No shot.
You don't think so? We got 12 spots.
I think
we've had some group of 5 teams get ranked pretty high.
You got Big 10, Big 12, SEC, man. Yeah, it'll take a lot. We're talking about 12 teams because you already know you're gonna have the SEC champ and the runner-up in there, and you're gonna have the Big 10 champ and the runner-up in there. You know what I'm saying? Unless something crazy happens. So that's already 4 spots taken. Then you're gonna have some other teams. Big 12 champ, automatic bid.
ACC champ.
I forgot about the ACC. You already got them.
That's all your power conferences.
So you're already looking at 6, maybe 7 spots right there.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead and put up 9 because you're gonna get 3 SEC teams in because they just gonna beat each other. I think you're at 9.
So you're looking at 9 spots right there. So the remaining 3, I think it's gonna be shaky. You know what I'm saying? Now these teams are gonna cannibalize each other as they play each other going forward. You know what I'm saying?
But
right now, I mean Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Miami, Oregon. They might fall back a little bit. Penn State, Utah, Missouri, Michigan. And on the bubble, you got USC, LSU, Notre Dame, Clemson.
LSU games give me heartburn. So I don't even want to
So
talk
what,
about them.
what group of five? But what group of five team you think gonna break through? All them teams I listed.
I mean, like I said, if you get some undefeated guys in there, I wouldn't be JMU probably end up undefeated. That's probably it. I don't know how many other. I think they're gonna get a group of 5 team in strictly off the fact of this is why we did this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why we set this up so that other teams can get in.
But here's the other problem with JMU. Who are your wins against and who are your losses against? You know what I'm
They're
saying?
probably
Because
not gonna lose a game. So if they don't lose a game.
But let's say for example, Georgia can go out and lose to Alabama. If Alabama's your only loss and the committee's looking at Georgia versus JMU, who they gonna put in?
But if UNC continues playing good, if UNC was 3-1 before this. So if UNC play,
you answer my question. Who they gonna put in? One loss Georgia, their losses against Bama, or JMU who's undefeated? Who they gonna put in?
But if I'm not mistaken, it's not a SEC. Yeah, it's not a SEC East and West this year. It's just SEC this year, isn't it? For the next year.
Yeah. This year.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying, Sherm. You can't. That's not a good example because them teams gonna ball anyway.
Let's take my example from let's take an example from last year then. When it came to Florida State, who was undefeated. Mind you, that's a Power 5 school who's undefeated, but their quarterback was out. So they're probably a worse team, but they're still undefeated. They still won the conference championship with their backup quarterback. But who they put in? A one-loss Bama team over them.
But I'm not gonna
They
lie.
were kind of struggling in that game.
Florida State got they behind toe out the frame when they got in there. I get what you're saying. Though. I'm not saying
my big point is the committee has shown over and over again they're always going to show deference and respect to a Power 5 school over these small schools. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to take a lot more than being undefeated to make it in. You gotta beat a big dog if you want to get in. And
JMU pretty convincingly.
Some of these other teams, they're not playing big dogs. They're not scheduling big dogs. You got to get a big dog. You got to get a top 5 school if you want to get in. Let's be honest.
I understand. But all right, man. Y'all boys got anything y'all want to add, man? That's been our college football corner for now. Y'all boys got anything y'all want to add?
Well, we're going to talk about baseball here.
Next year. I ain't even got it this year, brother. We can talk about them White Sox losing. Did they lose the most games in history? Did it finally happen?
I don't know, man. Shout out to Mr. Ohtani, though.
50,
Shout out to my Braves. Shout out to my Braves. We fighting to make the playoffs just to get spanked. But as long as
Ronald Acuna is gone. Shout out to Ronald Acuna, though, man. He is for sure gone, though. He up out of there.
You ain't gonna be an all-around Boston fan, man. You don't go for your Red Sox.
I don't touch the Red Sox, bro. This is Celtics.
So, hey, I'm a retired San Francisco Giants fan, so you know.
Oh, you put your jersey in the Raptors?
Yeah, I'm retired. I ain't gonna lie. I'm finna pick a new team this upcoming year. I think I'm gonna pick the Reds. They might suck, but at least they got Ellie.
I think the White Sox higher.
You can go be a White Sox fan.
I'm
either gonna be a Pirates fan or a Reds fan because I like Paul Skeens and I think he's gonna be great. And you know, I'm a big Ellie guy, or I might just be a player guy. Honestly, probably gonna be a player guy.
I feel that.
But man, without further ado, man, sun's getting real low over here, man. So I'd like to thank everybody for showing up again to season 2, episode 5 of the Lounge. And we appreciate all the love y'all been showing us. Y'all been coming through for us the last few weeks. Man, we do have some big news though for anybody that's in here. This Friday will be the first edition of the Lounge's linear show, the Nightcap, baby.
Yes,
So yeah, man, we'll be coming live to y'all. We haven't discussed the time yet, but when we get the time, we'll make sure everybody knows. That will be the first linear show. We got a new guest coming through, man. We got somebody else joining the lounge, gonna put his shoes down, and you know, yeah. But man, from the guys, CERN, what you thinking?
Hey man, shout out to the WNBA. The playoffs are starting. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the future champions, the New York Liberty. They gonna hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Sabrina.
Let's go Aces.
Who?
Vegas.
Hey, shout out to Asia Wilson though, MVP.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Asia.
Unanimous.
Asia, if Bam ain't doing it right for you.
Okay.
Look at that. He don't even know how to flirt right.
I'm
Watch out.
saying, man.
Go
it's
ahead and
over
get Caitlin, bro. Go ahead and go back to
It's
Mel
over
Gibson.
Hey, Kayla ain't MVP now. Hey, I'm just saying.
You
If
rookie of the
Bam
year.
Adebayo ain't doing it right, she in Miami right now.
Miami.
If Bam ain't doing it right, you just come up the road to Orlando. Holla at Sherm. You know what I'm saying, Asia.
She finna
I'm
go
gonna
up the
tell y'all
road
though,
and drive right
The
there.
WNBA has got to be the messiest workplace ever. It's got to be the
Bro,
messiest workplace
they
ever.
so petty, bro.
But why two ladies who go together on opposite teams in the playoffs? My girl beat me in a playoff game. I'm gonna be pissed. Like, we're not friends.
They
No more
gonna
after
cause a
that.
little friction. Yeah, for sure.
Rico, man, talk to us, brother. What you thinking?
I'm trying to think about how much you want for that belt. Real talk.
Man, I can't even do it, man. My granddaddy gave
Try
me
to be
this
that
belt.
5.
You
Can't
gotta
even
fight
start the
for
bid.
it.
Yeah, you do got to fight for it.
I bet that was one on the block. Then you said you're a dual
Hey.
champ, man.
That's
I'm
light
a
work.
dual champ.
That's
I'm
light
a
work.
dual champ. Hold on. Y'all know they can't give everybody these dual championships. You know.
Oh, we definitely starting to bend on that one. I got you.
Yes, sir.
I give you percentage of proceedings.
I gotta change my name. I've been the Lounge heavyweight champ for so long. I gotta be the Lounge double champ.
Something
But
like
man, without further ado, man, I'm your host, Mr. J, the Lounge double champ. We got my boy, Mr. Sherm Juan Jenkins, aka Sherm Elijah Juan, in the cut, and we got Mr. Luce's left foot, Mr. Rico Master Choli, and we out of here, baby. Peace.